my lovely angels. This is your girl Sim, back with another episode of the Sim Squad. Hi! You know, I have the sinking feeling that I've forgotten something, but I'm not too sure. While editing, I'll find out. It's microphone check, light, focus. There's something there that I'm forgetting, and it's like you know that feeling you get? It's there. So I have a brand new haul for you once again, where I'll be testing and trying some new perfumes that I've used maybe once or twice, not really much. And I know maceration videos are long due and I'll get to them slowly, but for now I'm just testing all the hauls I have and all the pending perfumes that have been lying there. I'm trying to get through them one by one, and then I'll start doing the maceration videos. I know it'll be impossible to do all the maceration updates, but I'll tell you the ones that have actually really changed over time or have changed for the better. So I'm starting with a new one from Lattafa. That's the Fire on Ice. Now I've been seeing the ads for this and everything, and I was super excited. But when I saw the box, I was kind of certain that it'll smell something like Angel Share because of the whole, I'll show you why. This is basically Lattafa's take on Angel Share Paradise. So the box is pretty cute. You open it like this letter thingy, and then that's how it opens. What is interesting is that the bottle has this ice thingy inside. It's pretty cute. I really like the packaging. Despite of popular belief, I thought the packaging is really cute. Does it look very nice in the pictures and everything? It does not, but in person it looks pretty good. By the way, on the box it says it's 110 ml. You know, like bottles are so deceptive. Like I actually thought that this would be 80 ml or so, but this is apparently 110 ml. And this retails for, where are my notes? It retails for $40 on the Lattafa.com website. It's an Oriental Vanilla. On Fragrantica it's got about 4. The top notes are black raspberry, cinnamon and cognac. Middle notes of frozen rose petals, which was so interesting to me. Caramel and moss, this is in the middle. Base you have oak wood, myrrh, cedarwood and ambroxan. In the opening you have this very boozy but sweet black raspberry. I recently had black raspberry, so kind of it's like there right in my memory. Who's texting me so much? Anyhow, opening, very boozy, but very sweet as well. And the sweetness initially, while it's fresh, it starts toning down to a reminiscent of that black raspberry fruit. And it just has a hint of cinnamon where it gives this little spicy edge to the perfume, but also cinnamon can feel cold or hot. Now that's the theme of this thing, right? It's fire on ice. So you're supposed to feel hot and cold at the same time, and this was very interesting to me, see if this perfume oscillates between hot and cold in temperature. Now things get interesting in the middle notes where you have frozen rose petals. You know what's funny? That by the time it reaches the center, it has this strange almost cold metal. It's not metallic, but it does smell like cold metal, and it's rose at the same time. So you feel this frozen rose. It's literally feeling like frozen rose petals, although it doesn't smell like frozen rose petals from the freezer. Don't ask me how I know that. I've tested and tried so many different things in life. You also have your caramel and moss, and the moss might also be adding this ozonic earthiness, I call it, which moss gives you. Maybe that's why I'm feeling it's a little metallic. It feels like mineral-like, not metallic, sorry, mineral-like. And in the base you have oak wood, cedarwood, so it's a lot of woody notes. You have myrrh and ambroxan. Now you must be wondering if this does get like very heavily boozy like your Angel Share. It definitely feels like an Angel Share flanker, but it is not like Angel Share. It is different enough to appreciate it, and it's mainly because of that raspberry note and the frozen rose petal note. The rest of it is coming in like a boozy, sweet, woody, slightly aromatic. When I say aromatic, it's because of the myrrh, so it's like resinous and aromatic at the same time. For people who keep asking me, aren't aromatics the herbs and everything? Aromatic can also be your resins, like myrrh, frankincense, that give off this little camphorous or a little bit of the aromatics. It almost smells a little apothecary medicinal like, right? I do feel in the dry down, it feels earthier and a little bit more woodier than your OG, which was the Angel Share. Now, while the perfume is different enough, will I be wearing this a lot? Do I personally like this perfume? Look, initially I gave it a 7 out of 10, yeah? I'm thinking, like, should I give it more? Because I am appreciating the perfume a little more than I was initially. But I would push it to 7.5 for now. For me, this kind of DNA is a bit done and dusted. It's becoming a little, it's leaning a little, I don't want to call it old school, but yeah, in a way, because we are done with those, you know. But this does have this edge of that icy rose petal, the frozen rose petal, and then you have your freshness from the raspberry. Now, while this was not love at first sniff for me, I was not wowed by it or anything, I do see this becoming a very cozy winter scent, and I think I will enjoy this a little bit more during winter, and that will allow Fire on Ice to mature a little bit more. I think it's a very unisex perfume. I think it's perfect for all day, but in fall winter. The longevity I felt was not all that. It was like 6 hours, pushing it to 7 hours, and the projection is like around 2 to 3 feet. It was so difficult for me to think of a celebrity for this, because I was like, it does still smell like a masculine person, but I was like, well, I don't know, but it's leaning a little old school as well. So I thought of Sean Penn. He can go either or. He can look like super macho, or he can be a little, not really effeminate, but also not very masculine as well. The color perception for this is a cognac brown. Honestly, the temperature, I do feel it oscillates, but I would consider this to be a warm fragrance, which is why I would rather wear this in fall winter. And the presence for this is moderate. Next, we have two new perfumes which are gourmands from the house of Khadlaj. This is their Biscotti range. So you have your Caramel Pop and the Date Toffee. Let's start with the Caramel Pop. It's a very simplistic packaging, that's why I'm not showing it off too much. It's just simple cardboard box, but the bottles, super simple, super cute. I think Khadlaj has made all their gourmand perfumes like in a very simple, elegant, ooh, okay, I like that. Super pressurized. Okay, I know what this is. Okay, so this is your popcorn caramel perfume. The moment I sprayed this, I got caramel popcorn, but you know, sometimes you get those fancy popcorns that come in those little boxes. I know they're called something, but I'm not clever or intelligent enough to remember what they're called. But they're basically caramel popcorn, but they're coated with like this crushed nuts as well. It's smelling like that to me. This is obviously classified as gourmand. It's not listed on Fragrantica. It retails for around $30 for a 100 ml bottle. The top notes for this are popcorn and butter. In the middle you have chestnut, chocolate and benzoin. And in the base you have caramel, brown sugar and vanilla. So yeah, spot on. It is so photorealistic. Like literally, I felt like I got transported to the cinema. And I know over here in Dubai you have some cinemas where they serve popcorn, but you have your cheese, butter and your caramel. But just outside the cinema you have this very fancy place where you get like all sorts of popcorn. I've tried their cotton candy popcorn. I've tried their this nutty one, which was my favorite. But in this, the chocolate note is not very prominent. That's why I do feel like this literally smells like your butter popcorn coated with caramel, and then you have like nuts stuck to it. Now beware, like when I stick the perfume to my nose, I get this like hint of artificial note. I don't know what that artificial note is, but it's not very pronounced. I had felt this from one of the Paris Corner perfumes as well, but that was a very long time ago and that was very sharp. In this, if you stick it to your nose like literally like this, you can smell it, because obviously I'm trying to take in all the notes and everything, but in the air, literally caramel popcorn coated with nuts. I don't want to talk about it like a lot because it's not a very complicated scent. It just smells exactly how I described it, and definitely this is meant for a more youthful crowd. Like I don't see myself wearing this perfume, to be honest with you, because first of all, I like my vanilla perfumes, gourmand, some of them, but not like a very photorealistic gourmand, and this is a very photorealistic gourmand. So if you like perfumes that smell like this, you're going to absolutely adore it because it's super photorealistic. I didn't have to like go through the notes, I didn't have to bother. The instant thought was your caramel popcorn with nuts on it. Again, fall winter perfume, no Middle Eastern vibe. The projection is around 3 feet. Longevity I would say is like 6 to 7 hours. After some time it just settles down to a warm, cozy caramel smell. I would give this a rating of 7 out of 10. While I don't personally obsess over perfumes that smell like this, I know there's a whole crowd of people who absolutely adore these perfumes, which is why brands are still creating these, and you know, there are new ones, new flankers of all sorts of gourmands that you can think of. The celebrity I chose for this was Vanessa Hudgens from Princess Switch. It's giving that vibe. And the color perception obviously was a caramel, but like a goldenish caramel. I'll try to put the right color for you over here. The temperature is definitely warm, and the presence for this is moderate to bold. It's not overwhelming, but it's definitely there in prominence. Next we have its sister or brother. That's the Biscotti Date Toffee. I was super intrigued by this one because I was like, is this going to be like your sticky dates? Because you know me, I love my Lush perfumes. I love Lush as a whole, but there's some perfumes, some scents from their line that I don't appreciate. Sticky dates is one of them. Maybe like I'll wear like those kind of perfumes in, I do still use those and I still wear them, but once in a while during winter. Now this one, that's the bottle by the way. It's very elegant, simplistic, and this is supposed to be your sticky dates, but it's with a twist. Now maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe this is not supposed to smell like sticky dates. Maybe it's a different perfume altogether that I'm not aware of. But from my experience and what I've smelled, it smells like sticky dates, but with a massive twist, yeah? Like instantly I'm smelling this aromatic thing going on, like almost like licorice or anise. So this is again your gourmand, $30 for 100 ml. Top notes are date, orange and coffee, okay? Damn, I did not notice the orange till I read it. See, sometimes when you read the notes, you are like, oh, I detect that as well. Middle notes are caramel, sugary notes and benzoin. And then in the base you have sandalwood, vanilla and amber. So again, not a very complicated perfume, right? You have your very heavy dates. It's that sweetness from the dates. If you've ever had a date before, I'm sure, date the fruit. I was going to say such a silly joke. Anyways, mixed with coffee, but the coffee is toned down in this like way lot, right? So you don't smell the, it smells like sticky dates. You took a shower with that gel, the shower gel. And once you come out, you know how the skin smells like? That's the part which is bearable for me. It's that part where you just spray the perfume or the spray thingy, or if you just use the shower gel while you're in the shower, it's really overwhelming. I get it because it's there to saturate you, so when you come out you can smell like this. But this also has this some form of some kind of licorice or anise. It's a type of sweetness, but it has like this cold edge to it. Guys, if anybody knows what I mean by, because even I don't know how to explain it when I say anise and licorice together, that scent, please tell me how I can describe that better. Now orange, I do smell it, and it smells like a dessert orange. It's like a cooked orange, or at least an orange that's coated with either chocolate or caramel or something. Doesn't smell like the orange fruit by itself. This perfume is definitely very dessert-like. Think dates, think caramel, think your coffee, but in moderation. Also your orange in moderation. And then tons and tons of vanilla, sugar, and then you have your creamy sandalwood and a little bit of amber to round up the perfume. It's definitely a very good perfume. As a matter of fact, I think this one, I actually like this one better than this one. So I'm going to give this a 7.5 out of 10. Guys, I'm trying to be fair because although these are not the kind of fragrances I gravitate towards, I know these are a big hit, which is, don't you just love it when you're in the flow and the battery dies of your camera? It's settling down to a very creamy, ambery perfume that is very well rounded off in the base. Now again, while this is not my jam, I keep repeating this because I don't want you guys to think I'm being unfair, you know. I would not give a perfume like this a 9 out of 10 in my personal opinion, because these are my reviews. Of course, there's no Middle Eastern vibe in this. This is not the kahwa kind of note because it doesn't have spices and stuff. The projection, I would say, is around 2 to 3 feet. Longevity, again, 6 to 7 hours. Settles down to a caramel, coffee, almost like a toffee-like scent with that sweetness of dates and a whole lot of creaminess. The celebrity I chose for this is Isabella Merced. Now, when it comes to perfumes like this, it's very difficult for me to choose celebrities. Anyhow, the color perception is a toffee brown. The temperature, I would still say, is warm, and the presence is moderate. Wow, I'm finishing reviews fast today, yeah? Like, I don't know how, maybe I'm feeling that way. Because the last time I thought I took my medication and I was like, wow, I'm doing this so fast. I finished things so fast. And when I was editing, I realized that I just went on talking and it was literally a sprint, you know, of like one topic to the other, and it was all like rubbish and I had to edit so much. Next, we have two perfumes from Nusuk. So So we have your Safa and Sama, his and hers. And this was interesting to me because I had not heard from anybody. I did see some random reviews and stuff, but I wasn't sure like what's going on. But I actually did not recognize it by the name. I recognized it with the bottle because I thought the bottles were interesting. So these are the two bottles. It's like, you know, vintage. It's very vintage. I remember my mom used to have bottles like this, like on her vanity. She had a huge vanity, by the way. We were not very well-to-do and everything, but I remember my mom's vanity was very fancy for some reason. So that's the bottle for Safa that I'm going to start with. Sprayer, awesome. Okay, I love these pressurized sprayers. And it's bougie marshmallow, okay? Not in the very simple way, but yeah, it's very, very close. Like, the moment I smell this, I'm like, oh, it's that marshmallow thingy going on, right? So the ones I have is like the Paris corner one, I have a Khadlaj one, and now I have the Nusuk one. So I wasn't expecting that. So I was a little bit blindsided because I was like, I thought this will smell something like opium or something, you know, like, because the bottle was like so vintage. Plus it has no pink in it. And this is a very pink perfume. Fruity Floral Gourmand, $30 for 100 ml. This is just, I feel, now look, the Paris corner one was like a very, very creamy version. The Khadlaj one was a very middle one, I would say. Like it was not that fluffy and it was not that creamy. This is probably like the fluffiest one out of all of them. So yeah, all three of them are a little bit twisted, you know. So it's not exactly like Yum Bougie Marshmallow, but it's, you can smell the DNA. It's like unmistakably that DNA, where it is strawberry and your whipped cream. That's your base of the perfume. But in this, for some reason, that yogurty smell or that cheesecake kind of smell, it's very, very toned down. I can barely actually smell that cheesecake kind. It's more like a whipped cream. And that's why this one feels very, very whipped. It is still heavier than your Kayali, yeah? Now, for everybody who doesn't know any of these perfumes, how it smells like, I'll tell you what Safa smells like. It starts with this creamy strawberry milkshake, but it has this whipped cream on top, and you have your, you know, cut strawberries kept on top as decoration, and maybe a little bit of those coconut flakes just drizzled on top. That's literally how this perfume smells like. But let's say the strawberry milkshake is one of the sweeter ones. Everybody who likes strawberry milkshake, I used to be one of them till I can't like now have sugar. But you have your very, very sweet strawberry milkshake and you have your other one which is just right. This is not the just right. This is like the sweet one, right? It also has this lemony thing going on. And this is the part where normally it'll clash with the creamy whipped cream and you start smelling it as your cheesecake smell. In this, it literally feels like a little bit of freshness from the lemon. That's it. You must, of course, like a little juvenile. I won't say this is like a youthful scent. This is leaning juvenile, because if a woman wear this, if I wear this, I would definitely wear pink, or I would wear like a little bit more girly girl kind of outfit. I know this is your going towards Barbie scent. It's reminding me of pink all over. And this is not pink accents. This is like your entire living room is pink, with pink sofas, pink wall paint, pink everything. It's a vibe. It's like the pink vibe, yeah? Do I like it? I do, okay? See, there's some perfumes. Now, this is like juvenile for me, but I like it. I don't know. I like it. I like this perfume because sometimes you just want to feel young again, and I like to smell like this when I go out with my friends, you know. Maybe I will not wear this on its own. Maybe I'll add some dark stuff because, you know, see me, I just can't be fluffy. So I might want to add maybe something a little darker, or maybe something very, very citrusy to this, you know, to make it even more fresh and make it my own. Like that I'm not smelling the Kayali signature code that's listed over here. So yeah, overall, a feminine perfume. I think this is fine to wear during spring. Not so much during summer, it might claw you. But this is fluffy enough. If it's not too hot in your summer, you can pull it off. Dubai? No. If your temperatures are going above 45 degrees Celsius, no. It has no Middle Eastern vibe. Projection, I would say, is like 2 feet. Longevity, unfortunately, this is 6 hours. But I will give it an 8 out of 10. Call me silly, I know, like guilty pleasures. Okay, there's some perfumes that are guilty. Do I regret it being in this bottle? 100%, because I would have never imagined, if you would have shown me this bottle, I would have thought this is either Bianco Latte, either it would be that, or it would be the complete opposite of being opium or something, the old version, you know, like an ambery, spicy scent. And celebrity, again, as usual, I couldn't think of anybody. Pink, bubbly, perky, this kind of scents, Sabrina Carpenter. There's no other celebrity that comes to mind. The color perception for this is pink frosting, the temperature is neutral, and the presence for this is moderate. Now, when I was like shocked with that one, I was like, will this smell like a blue perfume or won't it? You know, because I don't trust the bottle anymore, you know. So this one is called Sama. So Riff's perfumes earlier, they were called Riff's and Nusuk. Now they have kind of made it like Riff's perfumes, Nusuk perfumes, you know. So this is definitely an aquatic aromatic perfume. So it's very much like how this bottle looks like, but also a little bit of that blue perfume, which is vintage. So this is supposed to be duping Pacific Rock Moss by Goldfield and Banks. I haven't smelled that one because it's a masculine fragrance, but if it smells anything like this, I really like. Because this is a blue perfume, but it has like a whole lot of aromatics. But the aromatics don't continue being blue. They turn green, and then you have your woody facets, which turns into like this forest thingy. It almost smells like a pool in the forest. But if the pool was cold and if it was this color, whatever this color is, you know, fresh, but it's still surrounded by greenery and the forest floor and everything. And like a whole lot of herbs are growing around you, where you smell lavender, you're smelling some thyme, rosemary, sage, like everything coming in together. But what are the notes listed over here? Okay, first of all, $30, 100 ml. Notes: fresh, aquatic, breezy, with lemon brightness, aromatic herbs, and softwoods. That's all that's mentioned. I also feel it has a little bit of geranium in it, because this is the part where it turns that blue perfume a little soapy. It suddenly dries down to a very marine moss. That's where the moss comes in. But you also have your forest floor. So it's a blue perfume which is a little different from the rest of the crowd. And I'm appreciating this for summer. For men, I will not spray this on myself, because although it's setting itself apart from your regular blue perfumes, which I would never even go near. Like for example, if Ali is wearing one of the blue perfumes, I try not to hug him, because those kind of perfumes, if it transfers on me, I kind of get like, I smell like a bro, you know. This one is not going there. It's not completely becoming blue. It does have like very interesting notes like associated with it, which is making it a little bit more like likable to me. But it is still very heavily masculine, I feel. I would say this is masculine. Daytime, spring, summer, more so for summer. My rating for this would be, interestingly, I would love this on Ali. So it will be an 8 out of 10 as well, just because I would love to smell this on Ali. The projection is around 2 feet, longevity 6 to 7 hours. I don't know why these two perfumes, they're not lasting all that long. Maybe they need to mature. Obviously no Middle Eastern vibe in this. The celebrity I've chosen for this is Charles Melton. Also bluish grey, like very like cold. And the color perception obviously is blue grey. I just spoiled it for you a little earlier. But yeah, blue grey it is. It definitely doesn't smell like this color because of those aromatics and earthy notes in it. The temperature is very cold and the presence is mild. Now I do feel I did justice to all of them, like a lot, but I feel all of these perfumes need to sit a little bit, especially Fire on Ice. I am not too sure how I've used up so much already. Maybe I was like spraying it around to, no idea. Maybe Ali somehow found his way. No, but this is not Ali perfume. He would never put this on himself. Anyways, I don't know where it went. Maybe they're like gnomes or something, or elves that wake up at night and start using my perfumes. Yeah, but this one definitely needs a little bit of maturing. I'm assuming it's going to start getting darker, and I know it'll be ready to wear during winter. You have your very gourmand caramel pop and your date toffee, sorry. All the names are so similar in my head now. But these two are for your gourmand lovers, although they're not my cup of tea, but I can see people absolutely loving these perfumes because they're very nice, no irkiness, no cloyingness, you know, just rightly done. And then you have your Safa and Sama, which interestingly, like, surprised me, and I do like both of them. This one, guilty pleasure for myself, but this one I will adore on Ali. Let me know if you've tried any of these perfumes, because they are very, very, very new, and I know a lot of places won't even have them available. But let me know if you've recently tried any of these. And I know people are like getting sick and tired of gourmand perfumes, and I did ask a lot of brands like, why are you actually like preparing so many different ones? But they said that there's actually a market and it's doing pretty well. So that's why I think they're continuing making these. Anyways guys, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.